Delhi Capitals. DC have had a few positive things about this season. They found two sensational young batters in Abhishek Porel and Jake Fraser McGurk, so essentially their top order is fine. Middle order is also pretty good. Akshar Patel was good, Tristan Stubbs, good finisher, Rishabh Pant is Rishabh Pant, batting order is basically fine. Their pace bowling and their luck as well is where their problems start. Anyway, into the details. Captain and wicket-keeper has been performing for DC since his debut and recently won the T20 World Cup. I am talking about Rishabh Pant. Also just scored a 99. He also plays fearlessly, which some might say is blind slogging. That's a completely different conversation. He plays fearlessly, is what I'm going to say, because I don't want Rishabh Pant fans to cook me in the comments. Which is good for the team. Akshar Patel plays a little slow when he's sent in early, obviously to stabilize the game. I'm not blaming Akshar Patel. And this brings us to our next player. Won the T20 World Cup, bowls economically in the middle overs, where DC kind of excelled in, if we're being honest. Akshar Patel, left-arm orthodox spinner, left-handed batter. Kuldeep and Akshar were a great duo who took a lot of wickets. Also, Akshar stabilizes the game for DC when they lose early wickets. But another player who could go here is Mukesh Kumar. I value Akshar more because he's an all-rounder, but Mukesh is just sensational. Mukesh took 17 wickets in 10 innings at an average of 21.75. That is very, very good. Jake Fraser McGurk is one of the greatest youngsters at the time. He did very, very, very well last IPL season, struck at 234 in 9 innings, scoring 330 runs. He also debuted like 3 weeks ago in T20s. I think that's a month now, T20 Internationals. And scored 50 off of 31 balls in a tough position after 2 low scores, but I don't really care about that. He has potential. But he genuinely played well. DC should keep supporting him. Kuldeep Yadav. Don't need reasoning for this one. He took 10 wickets in the T20 World Cup, averaging 14. Can score a few runs with the bat. Took 16 wickets last IPL, averaging 23. He averages 17.2 in all T20s, not including internationals, taking 163 wickets at an economy of 7.4. That is just very, very good. Suffice it to say, he's a pretty good T20 bowler and at the top of the retention list for the Capitals. Abhishek Porel will be their on-cap player. 327 runs in his first 12 innings in his first IPL season. Averages 33 at 160. Not bad at all. Same thing with Jake Fraser McGurk, but he's more of an anchor. I mean, he's not even an anchor, really. Striking at 160, he's not really an anchor. But, like, he's more of an anchor than Jake Fraser McGurk is. I think he's one of the best openers for the DC team. Tristan Stubbs is a player I didn't include here, simply because there is no room. Yes, the Capitals could go in with less money in their purse in exchange for Tristan Stubbs, but I don't know if they want to. I would add him, but I don't know. Maybe. All up to DC. They have Pant already. Stubbs is likely going to be RTM'd rather than retained itself. If he's not at least RTM'd, I don't think DC is doing a very good job. Now, I know I said their fast bowling core was really, really bad, but hear me out. Retain Mukesh Kumar, Khalil Ahmed, and Enric Norkia. With a bit of work, I mean, their coach is kind of bad, right? Did they, like, I forgot who it was, but, like, it was a big downgrade from punting. But maybe, I don't know. I don't want to judge too early. Retain Mukesh Kumar, Khalil Ahmed, Enric Norkia. Fantastic bowler last season. Averaged 22 in 7, taking 17 in 10 innings. That is Mukesh Kumar. But also, economy was 10.4, which is not that good. But also, that's why these are wildcard retentions, or RTM picks. I do believe that Mukesh Kumar should be at least RTM'd, like Tristan Stubbs. Khalil Ahmed took 17 wickets in 14 innings, averaging 28, but going at 10 runs per over. He did take early wickets for DC, though, but that's what's important. And Enric Norkia, while having a bad, terrible IPL, had a spectacular T20 World Cup. Took 15 wickets, averaging just 13 at an economy of 5.7, which is not easy. Sensational stuff from him. So any of them over Abhishek or Akshar would be good for the Capitals, but they should mostly save these guys for RTMs, if not like buybacks. Speaking of RTMs, let's go to a team that had mostly average performance. The Lucknow Super Giants. LSG, who was in a similar position to both DC and CSK, in that they could have qualified if like one or two matches went their way a little more. So, they had a lot of positives, but a few negatives. Their biggest problem was their top order being very inconsistent with their firing. Sometimes they did well, sometimes they didn't. When they did well, they mainly won. And then when they didn't, they mainly lost. Their positives were definitely their bowling attack, including their relatively inexperienced pace bowling arsenal. But their middle order was pretty good, I'd say. Puran, Aish Badoni, somewhat Deepak Huda, and somewhat Marcus Stoinis. Nicholas Puran was the second highest run scorer for LSG in 2024, yet their best performer with the bat, 499 runs in 14 innings at 62.4, striking at 178. That is just mind-boggling stuff. Inarguably one of the greatest T20 batsmen of all time. He was pretty good in the T20 World Cup as well, the highest run scorers for the West Indies there. He scored 228 runs in 7 innings, averaging 38 and striking at 146.2. So, pretty easy retention for the Super Giants. Next, as the uncapped player, Aish Badoni. He had a pretty average IPL season, 235 runs in 12 innings, averaging 29.4 and striking at 137. But he was pretty solid, I'd say. Against SRH, he was taking down the likes of Cummins, Unadakot, and Natarajan, saving the LSG innings from completely collapsing after that very, very, very unfortunate 29 of 33 for KL Rahul, which is probably what destroyed his chances to play in the T20 World Cup last year. He's also a pretty good finisher, which is something that LSG does not have, even with all of their great middle order batters. He played a nice 22 off 10, taking down Romario Shepherd against the Mumbai Indians. Also, I saved the best for last. He scored 165 off of 55 in the Delhi Premier League. Yes, this is not a very professional league. A farmers league, as some might say. But it shows that he still has potential. Another cap player, Mayank Yadav. Why wouldn't you retain him? I think his fitness is alright now, and he shouldn't have many problems. 7 wickets in 4 innings isn't very impressive, but he impressed with the ball with his amazing speed and control over both line and length. He's primarily a middle over bowler, which is what LSG might need, but India used him as an opening bowler, and he was fine. Let's be honest, like a wicket on the first ball, I think. Was that it? I don't know if he did that, but I think he did. There's nothing really else I should say. No reasoning. Economy of 7, I guess. Good prospect for the future. Speaking of middle over bowlers, Ravi Bishnoi. Ravi Bishnoi is another one of the good young bowling prospects for both India and the franchise. His stats last year specifically weren't very impressive, with 10 wickets in 14 innings at an economy of 8.8, but he was impressive last year in internationals. 15 wickets in 14 innings at an economy of 7.7, which is, I'd say that's pretty solid, let's be honest. He has 48 wickets at an economy of 7.3, averaging 19 in internationals. Just this year, his worst form probably ever was 14 wickets in 11 innings, averaging 23 at an economy of 7.6, which isn't half bad. With some support and lots of help from the Lucknow pitch, he could be a pretty solid bowler next year. Marcus Stoinis isn't completely finished yet. I think the franchise could still squeeze some kind of form out of him. In T20 internationals this year, he scored 234 runs in 11 innings, averaging 29 and striking at 144. That isn't half bad, and he could definitely get into some better form considering his class. With the ball, he wasn't bad either. 13 innings, 21 wickets, economy of 8.6, average of 15. This is probably because of the West Indian pitches, but it's alright, I'd say. In T20s in general, he has 23 wickets, averaging 23, at an economy of 9.2. The strike rate of 134, 618 runs in 27 innings and averaging 27. So not really that bad. They can stretch out his lifetime easily. But also, that knock versus Chennai really boosted his price. In Chepauk, 124 not out. Even as a CSK fan, I really liked that knock. That was a very good day to watch cricket. While I am confident in Badoni, there is another player they can retain, which is Yash Thakur as their uncapped player. While he does need help with his economy, he can take wickets. He also does have potential, evident by his 5 for 30 against the Titans. 11 wickets in 10 innings isn't that spectacular, but with those averages, an economy, not good either. So that's why I backed Badoni ahead of him. Naveen ul Haq is another one, taking 14 wickets in 10 innings, which isn't that good, but was their best bowler. Took 13 wickets in 8 innings in the T20 World Cup, But the problem is that he is capped, so I don't think they should spend that much money on him. Another questionable non-retention is KL Rahul. Very questionable, if I'm being honest. I mean, he just scored 0. 12? No, yeah, he scored 0 at 12 against New Zealand. But that's a test match. And that's not that good, let's be honest. And he was also snubbed from the T20 World Cup, which is also pretty bad. He just hasn't been in good form, if I'm being honest. He was striking at 137 last IPL and scored 522 runs, which isn't that bad, let's be honest. That's pretty good, I'd say. But he also played some terrible innings, which brings his credibility down. On that pitch versus SRH, that was not that good. He wasn't as consistent as he once was in 2018 to 2022. I would definitely rather RTM him, but if they decide to RTM Stoinis instead, who am I to say no? His stats in T20 since World Cup 2023 is 794 runs in 23 innings, averaging 36.1, which isn't really that bad. But striking at 127.2, I'd say that's pretty bad. In my opinion, any strike rate after 2016, under 130, that's pretty bad. If KL brings his fearless style back, he should definitely be great. If he goes to CSK, I would definitely want KLR in our team. He's a solid middle over batter. I'd want him in my team, but I don't know. For Gujarat Titans, if the Gujarat Titans had better luck, they would have done something. Their batting order wasn't consistent, nor was their bowling attack. They had moments of brilliance, like against Chennai and Punjab, but they could never really find their form. Their positives were that they could do brilliance in some matches, like I just said, but were never consistent. Let's get into the retentions. With the new introduced rule, Mohit Sharma is now an uncapped player for the Titans. He's a pretty solid pacer. 127 innings, 148 wickets, 8.7 economy, and an average of 25.3. But since 2023, he's been really good at T20s. 27 wickets for GT in 15 innings in 2023. 8.2 economy and an average of just 14. These are very, very good stats. In 2024, he wasn't that bad either. 13 wickets in 11 innings, average of 33 and an economy of 10.9. That's not that bad considering that the average economy this year was 10.5. The average bowling average this year was also 30, so not that bad. I would definitely want to retain Rohit Sharma. Shubman Gill was the second best batter for GT and the best in their short history. 45 innings, 1,800 runs, and a strike rate of 147.7 and an average of 45 for the Titans. His stats in T20 cricket are phenomenal as well. 3,557 runs in 108 innings at an average of 38.2 and a strike rate of 136. Also, he's the captain, so I don't think I have to say anything else. Is Rashid Khan the greatest T20 spinner of all time? That's probably still up for debate. Actually, I don't think so. But yeah, he's there. He's probably the greatest T20 spinner of all time. Between Sunil Dara and Rashid Khan. But anyway, in T20s, 432 wickets in 330 innings, and an economy of 6.6 and an average of 19.7 and a strike rate of 17.8. Need I say more? So, he's being retained any day of the week. David Miller is just a great player overall, even though I do think he's overrated a little bit by some people. He's a great finisher, a good fielder, and can close some tight games that the middle order cannot always close. Also, considering that the top order might be a tad bit inconsistent, he can save the game from there. Miller has generally good stats as well. In his IPL career, he has played 130 matches, 2,924 runs, and an average of 37 and a strike rate of 140. Even last year, he wasn't that bad. 210 runs in 9 innings, averaging 35 and striking at 151, which isn't, that's pretty solid. If GT release him, they probably want to lose. Some people might want to retain Spencer Johnson, but the reason I put Mohit ahead of him is 1, Mohit is considered as uncapped, and 2, Mohit just performed better last year, and 3, Mohit is also an Indian player, which means he doesn't take up an overseas slot. So they can target Norkia, Naveen, Bairstow, Vyaskat. I don't know how to pronounce his name. The Sri Lankan spinner who's like Murali, the young guy. Tim David, Tristan Stubbs. Like GT could target all of them if they don't retain Spencer. Sai Sudarshan is a surprising exclusion. He was GT's best batter last season with 527 runs in 12 innings, averaging 47.9, striking at 141.3, and probably one of the best seasons in T20 leagues ever, considering that his team was so bad and he wasn't able to bounce off of anyone. Using his RTM because he is a cap player for India, because it kind of annoys me because he hasn't given, he doesn't get consistent chances. And the only options are 11 crores, 14 crores, and 18 crores. Obviously, they can pay him less, but why? And I can't remove any other player considering they're all icons for the team or are just good players in general. He should at least be RTM though, or else he'll be grabbed by any team. Like CSK, please, if you're gonna grab anyone and they don't RTM him, grab Sai. Another player I want to talk about is Noor Ahmed. He's 19 years old right now, but he's not doing very well in big leagues like IPL or international. 24 wickets in 23 IPL innings at 27.4 and an economy of 8, and 17 20 wickets, T20 international wickets, in 13 innings at 37.7 and an economy of 6.9. Nice. Not bad, but he can do better, as we saw in CPL 2024. In CPL 2024, he took 22 wickets in 12 matches and only went at 6.19 runs per over. He has some potential, which is why GT can use an RTM on him. I'm 50-50 on that one. On one hand, this is only one performance, but on the other hand, he's a Chinaman and pretty valuable in subcontinent pitches. For the Punjab Kings, they had one positive last year, and that's absolutely demolishing the KKR bowling attack, chasing down 262 with ease. In general, their positives were their strong middle order and their middle overs bowling, and somewhat their power play as well, but just because of Arshdeep. Well, obviously, first we retained a young, uncapped player, Ashutosh Sharma. He played multiple good and saviour-like knocks for Punjab, and it would be stupid not to retain him. 189 runs in 9 innings with an average of 27, striking at 167.3. Pretty good stats, honestly, especially for a player who plays in the lower order of a team like PBKS. Harsh, but true. Another uncapped player, Shashank Singh, should be retained. Yes, they bought him by accident, but it's looking like a masterstroke. Shashank scored 354 runs in 14 innings, averaging 44 and striking at 165. Very, 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 very good performance, especially for a batter who's basically playing his first IPL, bats in the middle order, and plays for a team like PBKS. I can't feel bad saying that, but it's true. Also, can bowl a bit similar to Tilak Verma. Now, the one everyone's been waiting for this specific segment. No one's been waiting this long for Arshdeep Singh. Won the T20 World Cup, took 17 wickets there. Need I say more? No, I don't. Next, Harshal Patel. While his economy was pretty bad last time around, they could probably improve on that. Ponting is the new coach for Punjab, if I'm not wrong, and he likes bowlers to bowl tight lengths, and it will be around the same lengths like Harshal likes bowling, which is good for him. He's been a consistent purple cap holder since 2021, and RCB released him, which is a huge mistake. I would definitely retain him as he keeps up the middle order bowling and basically carries it. There are a few exclusions here that I want to talk about. Not a few, but all of the players who aren't good enough to be retained, but are good enough to earn a mention. Let's go through all of the PBKS players. Riley Rousseau, a Class T20 player, but hasn't been in the form of last year. 44 innings, 1,014 runs, and an average of 24.7, striking at 143.2. That's not really that good, considering how experienced of a player he is. Shitesh Sharma didn't do much last season, plays a few cameos, and gets out quick. Ashutosh Sharma can do that too, and he's done it better in my opinion. He could be RTM'd or bought back, both of which are likely. Not many teams are looking for a player like him. Johnny Bairstow likely to be RTM'd, and PBKS might want to keep him because of that run chase versus KKR, where he scored 108 not out of 48. Not bad to be honest, but a bust in every single other match that he played. Since he won the 2019 World Cup, it's been a downfall for him. But that's true for all of England, except for tests, but even there they suck worse than Sri Lanka. Sikandar Raza, Sam Curran, Livingstone. Not a good IPL last year, not a good T20 World Cup / years in T20s. Livingstone was pretty good against Australia in the one-day series, so they might want to retain him, and they do need a spin basher, so I would go for it. Rahul Chahar, Vidwat Kevrappa, and Harpreet Kaur, and Kagiso Rabada. All good overall bowlers who all have different roles, but almost all have the same value. Rahul Chahar and Vidwat are young, so I would RTM on both or either of them. Kevrappa did pretty well on debut. He got Kohli almost 3 times in one inning, yet he still ended up with 2 for 36, which isn't that good, but it's fine. PBKS's feeling was so trash that day that they dropped Kohli 4 to 5 times in that game, 3 or 4 off of Kevrappa. Rahul Chahar had a pretty good season as well, one of the reasons why CSK failed to qualify. He got Dubey for ducks in both matches, which is kind of wild. 10 wickets in 9 innings is bad, but it's fine. He's an alright bowler. He has an economy of 7.76 while averaging 28.5 and striking at 22 in 83 innings, which isn't bad, but isn't good either. I would definitely try and at least buy him back. I choose Kevrappa over Chahar though. Harpreet and Kagiso are extremely different bowlers, so it's what PBKS wants more. I would choose Harpreet just to take control of the middle overs with runs for RTM because he has an economy of 7.5 in T20s. I would try to work on these wicket-taking skills, which is what Rabada has, but doesn't really have the economy. An economy of 8.2 isn't that bad, but isn't really what you want. It's either Kevrappa and Brar or Chahar and Rabada for RTMs in my opinion. Now that I speed ran through that, on to the final team, the Mumbai Indians. For the Mumbai Indians, they had an alright team on paper, but with a lot of their players not performing well together, they ended up in last place. There are a lot of players that they want to retain in general just because they're all good players. The skipper, the all-rounder who just won the T20 World Cup with the player with tournament performance, Hardik Pandya. I don't think I have to say anything else. He's basically one of the greatest all-rounder India has had in only a 7-year career. Next, Jasprit Bumrah and Surya Kumar Yadav. Rohit Sharma. Some people might disagree, but Rohit is a pretty good batter in the IPL. 6,950 runs, 262 innings, a strike rate of 131, and an average of 30. Also, considering that man is in the top 5 greatest batters in T20 internationals, it's stupid to exclude him. Other players that I want to talk about for retainment. Tilak Verma, Mumbai's best batter in 2024, scoring 416 runs in 13 innings, averaging 41.6. Though many of his knocks came in vain, he was still a pretty good player overall. The only reason why he's here is because 1, he's capped, and 2, he's definitely going for less than Rohit Sharma is. So yeah, basically almost definite RTM. Ishan Kishan, Mumbai's golden boy, on the keeping and batting side, who has been in hot water with BCCI. I just want to keep Ishan Kishan for MI because I don't see him with any other team, just because I like him. I don't want to see him in a team like PBKS, where he won't see success, or in a team like CSK where he won't get chances. But yeah, he's a pretty good player as well. T20 leagues, he has 2,762 runs at 28.5, while striking at 135.8. Great stats, and he's a wicket-keeper. Definite RTM on my part. And that's basically it. Every retention, and basically every RTM that IPL teams should be doing, in my opinion. And if it's not my opinion, it's wrong. Okay, so I forgot to talk about Mohammad Shami. Sorry for the bad quality. I'm literally recording this from my phone, the night I'm supposed to post this. I think that GT should retain him, if I'm being honest. If not retained, RTM, but he's probably going for a lot, for being honest. So yeah, I think that GT should retain Mohammad Shami as well. I forgot to add him for some reason. Probably because he wasn't playing this year. So I was mainly looking at this year's stats. Whatever. Just retain Mohammad Shami as well.